Hi, Marissa.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Shelby Lofton. I'm with Pearl Pod LLC. Do you have a couple minutes to talk?
Sure.
Awesome. Before we get started here today, I'd just like to go ahead and give you my business card.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to stop by. I was just over there at the equestrian barn talking with Larry Sanchez, and he mentioned your name and and told me a little bit about your program and said you might be interested in hearing about a product I'm currently selling.
Sure.
Okay. Well, okay, so, I noticed on my drive-in, y'all got a couple of foals out there on the ground. How's the foaling season going?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good so far.
Could you tell me a little bit about your program?
Sure. We have 16 brood mares currently that we're working on breeding this spring, and we currently have 13 foals. We're expecting to all be on the ground. We're about a little over halfway now. And so that is a pretty big cornerstone of our program, the breeding side of things. Everything kind of circles around that from the whole process those horses go through in our teaching program and sales program.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit more about your sales program?
Sure. So we sell our horses at either long yearlings or 2-year-olds. And so those horses will go through different training level classes, and then we'll market them either private treaty or through a public auction sale, and market them to cow horse type people in the industry, and hope they kind of go on and get finished and more broke with someone else.
Awesome. Well, I know just from experience as a student as well, the breeding program is really popular, especially your breeding and foaling class is really popular with your students.
Yes.
So I was just wondering, so when you go and you breed your mares, what techniques are you using? Live cover, artificial insemination, etc.
Yeah, we do everything through rectal palpation with an ultrasound to manage our mares and know where they're at in their cycle and make breeding decisions, and then everything from there though is artificial insemination, even if it's just collecting our stud or ship semen from other studs in the industry. We eye everything here.
Okay. So do you ever synchronize your mares for their estrus cycles? Do you use any products such as Regimate or just etc.?
We do not. We kind of fly by the seat of our pants a little bit and just take what Mother Nature gives us. That would maybe be a little bit more imperative with open mares because their cycle is different compared to our mares in foal. When they foal out, they already are in full heat, and so we can breed them back relatively quickly if everything works out. And so, I think that would maybe, managing them more. Everything we do is managed very intensively, but we kind of just take what we get in terms of the lactating mares, because they cycle kind of more quickly and regularly compared to the open mares at this time of the year. Well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So with your open mares, have you ever thought about estrus synchronization on some of those mares, or your aged mares, not your mares?
Sure. The only thing we did this last year is we had the echoing masks on some of our open mares so that we could get them cycling earlier in the breeding season instead of waiting so long for them to naturally start to recycle and come out of transition or come out of anestrus. And so that is something that's been really nice for us because we've already bred our open mares this month. We bred both of them this month, so we'll have some March babies hopefully if they get pregnant. And that's a lot earlier than sometimes we normally are successful at achieving just because of the natural cycle that our open mares would be going through at this time of year. So that's the only, and that's new for us too. Normally we would just wait it out and wait for them to have a good cycle. So that's been helpful though.
Well, with that mask, I heard somewhere along the line that from Dr. Cooper that some of your mares would tear them off, and how many?
One of them did, yeah. She kind of was hard on the mask, and the other one was not so much. But yeah, Dream, the 4-year-old, she's young, it's goofy, and so she probably just got a snag on something, and then just kept ripping more. So it stayed on long enough for it to be effective. So.
Yeah.
But yes, that was a little bit of a problem with her.
I guess especially at least for as well managed and as many people are around the farm for you able to catch that. That's well, I represent Pearl Pod LLC, and what I currently have on the market is a device that I think you might be a little interested in. I was just over talking with Larry a little bit about it. So it is a self-assembling intrauterine device, a mare IUD. And like the IUDs that we have with humans and everything, except this one is drug-free. And what it does is we insert it into the uterus, and it makes the mare think she's pseudo-pregnant. And we've been using this device especially with people with show mares to help suppress signs of estrus. And then we've also had success using it as part of estrus synchronization. We have put open mares on it, and especially with our show mares, and then we'll bring them out. We'll go ahead and remove the device, and then come around April, March, and then they start cycling, and we're able to breed without any problems. Larry, I was just talking with Larry a little bit about it for use with his mares, especially over there at the equestrian team. We've got I know he's got several mares that can be a little touchy come this time of year. But he did mention you might possibly be interested in using it with your with some of your open mares that you've had a little bit of troubles with.
Sure.
If you'd be interested, I would love to tell you a little bit more about it, some of the device characteristics, if that seems like something that you might possibly be interested in learning more about.
Sure, definitely.
Well, awesome. Okay. I have on my tablet, I have a visual demonstration for you of what the device looks like. But basically it is 3 plastic coated beads, if you will. They're magnetic, and when we go to insert the device, we use an applicator. It's very much like AI with a regular artificial insemination rod, except we put the beads on the end of the AI rod and then make our way through the vagina, the cervix, into the uterus, and then just push the device out of the applicator, and it falls into the uterus, and it basically just sits in that uterus and the mare assumes that she's pseudo-pregnant. We have seen some cases where mares don't take to the device and they still cycle or exhibit some symptoms of just moodiness as well. But in regards, we've had about an 80% success rate with it so far. It's just come on the market. It's developed by Dr. Grandill in Massachusetts. He's a veterinarian up there, and it's pretty unique to the market. One of the things is I know some people have had experiences with intrauterine marbles. Have you heard anything about those?
Yes, very, very little, but I know they've been used for kind of the same purposes.
Have you heard anybody talk about like just anything they like about them, anything they dislike about them?
No, not personally. I don't know anyone that's used marbles before.
Okay. Well, the thing with intrauterine marbles is they're basically glass balls. That's all they are. And we've had some issues. We've seen issues with some owners inserting the marble into the uterus, and then that marble breaking within the uterus.
Yeah.
And then obviously that causing a host of issues. Also, due to the marble's shape, we've seen the marble be expelled out of the uterus and through the cervix as well. And one of the things that we've designed, that Dr. Grandel and here at Pearl Pod, we've designed the IU pod to do is, since it's magnetic, once it's inserted into the uterus, it forms into a triangle, and that the triangle shape keeps it from being expelled out of the uterus. And then additionally, since it's plastic coated, it will not break within the uterus. It hasn't caused any, I know with some intrauterine marbles, we've seen signs, endometriitis as well. And also, if it does break within the uterus, getting those shards out. There's been issues where marbles can't be detected, haven't been detected, and have stayed within the uterus, and then that may have been bred, and that marble still be in there.
Yeah.
And affect just the whole process and break as well.
Yeah, sounds awful.
So that's one of the things that we've designed the IU pod to not be. I know there's several people who've had success with the marbles as well, but the IU pod is basically a marble, but not a marble, if that makes sense. And so, anyway, that was one of the features that I think is really unique to the device itself. Anyway.
So you said there's like an 80% success rate. Is that just field data that was collected before this product was on the market, or just what has been seen out that the product's on the market, or a combination of the two?
Okay, that's a good question. So we've seen an 80% with 3 years of trial data and field data. The device has only actually been on the market for the past year. I've had correspondence with Dr. Gradle and he, I believe, just put the device on the market come July, because it was going through all those test phases as well. So in terms of anything other than our trial and field data of 3 years, we have not yet implanted that many mares to know and seen and had enough time to collect additional data. So, but anyway, I know as well. If you were to use the device, how many mares do you think you'd even remotely consider putting this in?
Depends on the open mares I have. So it depends on. Right now, I'm planning on breeding everything I have. That's breedable. So if they all get pregnant, then potentially none. But if they don't get pregnant, then they get open. So potentially a few. It really just depends.
Yeah. I will tell you, this device is shipped out of Massachusetts, and it's very easy to go ahead and place an order and it come in whenever you need it to. It comes as either a kit with an applicator or a retriever. The applicator we use with inserting the device in. The retriever is basically also exactly like the applicator with it's an AI tube essentially, except it has a magnet on the end, and then whenever you go to retrieve it, you just stick that magnet tip in and it attracts the magnets, which are the device, and then it just brings it out. And that's included in the kit with the device, or the device can also just be ordered by itself.
Okay.
And then
so then if you ordered some, you'd only really need one kit and then other just devices.
Yes, pretty much.
I guess, would there be any concerns though about using the same applicator and retriever with multiple mares in terms of sterile environment of the uterus, wanting to maintain a more sterile environment of the uterus?
Yes.
Cross contamination, so to speak.
Yes, I can definitely see that. that would be a good question for the veterinarian as well. But I would think with good, proper sterilization techniques, you would limit it. But also in regards to keeping things completely zeroed out, no chance, then I would say that additional retrievers and applicators could also be ordered, and definitely at a discounted price for multiple members.
Sure. Okay. What is the cost then of a complete package?
The complete kit with the applicator, retriever, and device is $120.
Okay.
So,
can the device be reused after?
Yes.
So you can reuse it as many times as you want.
As long as it's not damaged, and it still maintains its magnetic forces as well, then it's completely fine. Like I said, it's completely drug-free. It doesn't contain any hormones or progestins or anything like that that would need to be re-administered or refilled or anything like that. So it's basically 3 special magnets, if you will.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
Well, I alrighty then. I would really love to go ahead and just get more. Go ahead and write down some more of your information here, and then would it be possible for me to go ahead and call you next week in regards to continuing, maybe talking about this and setting up a I mean, would you like to go ahead and pursue further conversations in regards to purchasing one of these devices?
Sure.
Awesome. Well, then in that case, I would really love to go ahead and take down your phone number, if you will, and then could I give you a call next week and let's pursue things further?
Yeah.
Awesome. And
do you want me to actually give me Oh, I'll give you my work number. 405-744-3820.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Marissa. I really enjoyed talking with you today, and I look forward to speaking with you further next week.
Sounds great.
Awesome.